This video is to demonstrate many of the multi-store capabilities within IBIDie. We will show how the inventory at remote locations can be viewed and maintained from a workstation in any location. Let's first go into the inventory screen and pull up a title. Let's see, we will pull up Bob Woodward's Rage. This screen is familiar to IBIDie users, as is the picture of the book. The picture of the book represents the web service that IBIDie uses to seek information from other sources. So if we click on this, we immediately go to the Ingram tab. The content piece is a movable piece within the screen. The tabs at the top are the places that provide data, and once you're on a tab at the top, below are the data that is provided. So it defaults to the Ingram tab and to the inventory screen. So on this screen, you will have the various Ingram warehouse locations, the quantity on hand, on order, and the discount. It has the list price, whether it is returnable, the pub date, and should this have been a book yet to be released, it will have the street date, or the on sale date will be below the pub date. That goes away once that date is passed. Below the Ingram information is the IBIDie order information on the current system. So we see that for this book, we have one in TBO for Ingram and one in TBO for Simon & Schuster. If there were annotations by the book and we click at the bottom, we get the Ingram annotations. If there's been a Publisher Weekly review of the book, believe it or not, there isn't here, but it will be there. The purpose mainly is the IBIDie tab. If we click the IBIDie tab, we have information that is replicated from the inventory screen. Remember, these web service displays are available everywhere that the picture of the book appears, not just on the inventory system. Most are familiar with the sales graphs, the tabular sales, and the on hand, to be ordered, on order, SPO over on the right hand side here. The PO tab at the bottom lists the purchase order and some more information for multi-stores. Basically what this does now is anywhere you pull up the purchase order tab of the IBIDie, it will have on it the vendor on the left that is the vendor of record, and the vendor on the right, which is Ingram, or defaults to Ingram, but it can be any vendor. And basically from here you can add quantities to be returned or to be ordered to either of these two vendors. So for instance, if we have Ingram here and we want to add the to be ordered for Ingram, we just simply click that and you'll see it's now 2 up at Ingram. All right. Now, anywhere we go through a list, we can do the same. As you change titles, the vendor of record will change depending on the vendor of record on the title that you're on. However, the vendor on the right will not change unless you manually change it. We'll look at that on a list later. The inventory has the inventory and the notes field. And this is the primary purpose here, the multi-store inventory. You can see that on our title here, we have 2 stores out there, which are IBIDie test stores, one called distribution and one towards beta. And over here, it is saying that this title is not found on either system, which means it's not in the inventory of either system. However, at the bottom, we have an add all. Once we've done that, it's now on each of those systems. We could have added a single by highlighting. We could have added a single, or we could have add all. Let's say that we discover that there's a price mistake. So let's change the price here and update it. If we then do an update all, that price has been updated on all those different systems. As you know, we can go to the full screen display and get the tabular and graphical sales for a particular branch and whatever has been in these quantity fields over here. So we can then see how this can be used by going into the order screen. Let's say that we're in stock replenishment and we pull up a list of titles to be ordered. If we simply find one here, here's the one that's actually a book. We can pull it up, go to IBIDie, go to this, and then we can just simply move this over to here. And we can simply go through here. And it'll give us what is on hand at each of those stores. We can go through here also on the purchasing side. So if we want to look at these, you'll see that the vendor changes, but the Ingram vendor doesn't change. This you can set, but the vendor on the right, and it simply will not change until you reset it. The vendor on the left will always be the vendor of record for that book. So this will allow you to, when in here, if you wish, you can simply put it on to be ordered or to be returned for Ingram while you're working a publisher list or vice versa. It allows easy updating of a multi-store inventory system.